Morning everybody. So I'm back down at the res this morning, and unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but there has been 3 individuals. At first I thought it were only 1 or 2, but there's been 3 individuals within the That's On label, if you will. It's not really a company, but there's 3 individuals that today I've had to let go. Now, I don't condone theft in the slightest, even more so because I've had things stolen from me in the past, and I've had tools stolen, I've had my shed broke into, stuff like that. But I'll tell you something now, and I hope a lot of you will agree with this, and I assume you will. Nothing hurts more than having fishing tackle stolen from you. It absolutely breaks my heart. I hate it. It's happened to me once, and luckily they didn't take everything, and the important things that they did take, I found a couple of days later, a few houses away from where I lived, where it got stolen from. But I've been going in and out at unit where all tackle's stored, all bait stored. Now there's Revolution bait stuff in there, and there's also mountains and mountains of fishery pellets in there. So whenever I go fishing, I'll not just pick one up, I'll pick a few up, because I like to test flavours on them, test colourings on them. So not only that, but I'm just one of them people. I don't just pick one of something up, I just grab a few and pay for them and they just go home. Now, another thing I will say is, I'm not a big fan of second chances. I think if you've done it, the hardest and easiest lesson you can ever learn is being dropped on your arse at that very moment. Because not only does it kill the relationship between those individuals and myself that have put those in a good position, but it's also not nice going forward. You never know when it's going to happen again. So today I've had to release 3 individuals from the That's On brand. And to talk about it a little bit more, I've actually come down to Harthill Reservoir. I only live next to it, so I've just had a nip up here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take you down onto the actual bank near the water down there and just talk a little bit more about it, because sometimes when things like this happen, it gets kept behind closed doors and people keep it quiet, and I don't think that's right. And I'm that sort of person, and I hope a lot of you know that if somebody messes up, the world's going to know about it. Because what I then don't want is for these individuals to go off somewhere else and start stealing from them and treating them as badly as they've treated me. So right now, I'm about to out 3 thieves on YouTube, so you can all recognise them and keep an eye out for them, just in case you end up in a position like me as well. So, follow me. So here we are, guys. Lovely morning down at the res. That water level's gone down some more. Oh, rubbish in these bushes, look. All been taken care of. There is still some more right back there that I need to get, but that stuff is nasty. Thorns, nettles, you name it. So I still need to come down and get all that out. All these areas down here under edge are now clear. Me and Holly did a fabulous job. Oh, it's a little bit of something there that can come back with me. And then all down there, it's all pretty much cleared off now. But I'd say water level's probably down a foot compared to what it was, which is what we want. It's a little bit windy, so I do apologise. Still bodies over there. It's a Saturday today, and I can see bodies over there on building site. A couple of eye visors right at back. So that's good stuff. Looking really well. Dam wall's got a big mound on it. I dare say we'll be starting on that soon, but everything over there is looking absolutely wicked, which is what we want. And all this bit here, so if I just spin you around now, we're just over in this corner. So bridge is over there, and it's res. And that's where I've just walked in front boathouse over there. And all this is nice and clear as well. We came up and we gave it a good once of it the other day. And when all these leaves start to die off towards summer next year, we'll probably be able to see any more rubbish that's underneath all that stuff. But for now, it's looking absolutely stunning. But this area here is the area that I want to focus on for today's video. Now, you're probably wondering, what's 3 individuals stealing off Ben got to do with Harthill Reservoir and this particular bit? Well, let me show you. Right, let's put my alcohol down so I don't get a wet ass. Right, one of the amazing things about Harthill Reservoir And I know a lot of you have never been here, but this place has just got such, besides the fishing and the tourism and local dog walkers, bird watchers, you name it, even in its current state with no water in it, and there's only one pond fishable and it's quite a walk to that, this place is absolutely thriving with wildlife. So where we are now, as I was pointing over to the far bank before, just the other day when I was filming, there was a deer drinking from the water right at the waterside of the res now. And it's quite a rural area behind, but you've got the M1 over there. There's a lot of noise. You might be able to hear it now in the background. But it means that those, and it were a baby deer as well, that those little deer have had to make their way through a main road from quite far down near Kiverton Waters as well. And it's not a busy place here, like it's not full of people, but it's definitely somewhere that when you come, it's not just derelict of human life when you get here. There's always someone walking about, or you know, Derek's walking about, or these, you know, dog walkers. So it was quite nice that day to be stood there with a couple of chaps, and there are deer 200 yards behind us. So it's thriving with wildlife. I don't think I've still got the clip. If I have, I'll try and put it in, but a few times now when I've been down here, there's also been kestrels. Now, as you've just seen behind you, in all this long grass that's built up where Waterside was before, is an absolute bird magnet, okay? So when you walk through it, you'll find nests on the floor. I don't know much about birds, I wish I did. A big life goal for me is to get into bird watching, and I'd probably find a book that helps me get into bird watching, because I love birds. I know what a robin is, I know what a blue tit is, magpie, crow, pigeon, probably birds that nobody's really bothered about. But they're the ones that I know, and a few others like finches and stuff like that, probably. But because this was just a big expanse of water before, now all that water's gone and it's just now growth with bushes and trees and long grass. It's an absolute magnet for kestrels. So I come down here the other day and I was parked up just having something to eat in car park, and just in front of the car there were a kestrel hovering who were up and down, and then at one point, and there were definitely crows, 100%, and I don't know if this is just a one-off or if crows do this to kestrel, if they like to bully them, but these two crows were absolutely hounding this kestrel in the sky, and they wouldn't leave it alone, and after a bit, kestrel evaded them, come back, and started doing his hovering thing before he was shooting down to long grass. And it's that long that when they land in here, you can't see them, and then obviously they shoot off 5 or 10 minutes later sometimes, where they've probably eaten the meal in grass as opposed to taking it somewhere else. Anyway, absolutely nothing to do with and no relevance to thieving individuals that I'm having to deal with. I've come down here today just to show you a little bit of what the wildlife appeal is down here now, and how it might help me with my thieving problem. Now, this thing is a mousetrap, and just recently I've been suffering a massive decline in bait. Being an ambassador, a regular user, and a huge fan of one of the biggest bait companies on today's angling market, Revolution Baits, I am now absolutely snidered with mice. So it got to the point where I wanted a mousetrap. Now, I picked up a couple of these little tiny tubular things where they can walk in, the door will close, and that's it, you've caught them. But you can only get one at a time. So I stumbled across a chap called Sean Woods, who is an absolute rodent expert when it comes to catching them, releasing them, dispatching them. He's based over in the US somewhere, and that guy is an absolute genius, okay? Now, this isn't an exact one of the type or brand that he recommended on his video. It's just that I couldn't find that one anywhere where I could get it quick enough. So I went for the next best thing and bought this one. It's a lid for a bucket, and it's got a swing trap door on it, and it allows a mouse to walk in, fall into a bucket, and then it resets itself. That way it can reset itself, and you can catch, you know, if you've got 10 mice in your shed and they're all hungry at that particular time, you can catch 10 mice in your shed. All you have to do then is empty it, either dispatch them or go and set them free. And today I am down here at Arto Reservoir to do just that. Now, on Sean's video on YouTube, and I promise you, if none of you are into watching rodents being caught or anything like that, watch this. It is so interesting. I have no interest in it whatsoever, and I can sit there for hours watching his videos. The guy is an absolute genius. But he recommended a lot of people buy these. You can put some peanut butter on inside of the top, or a little bit of food inside. I just sprinkled a few pellets inside,
and it means that mice can crawl up the ladder onto the black platform, and then they fall in and it resets itself. And then another mouse will come up, walk on top, and it just repeats the process over and over again. That way you can sleep comfortably at night, knowing that you've got a trap set and it ain't gone off and loads of mice are still in your shed eating all your bait. This one was perfect. Now, getting the bucket for it were a nightmare. I had to get a regular black bucket and just cut it so this fits on top, so the bucket sat inside it. Meaning, I can put some tape right top and secure it that way. It's not ideal, but I can just put my hand inside, get the mice, put them in a tub and get rid of them and so on and so forth. But definitely, if you've got a mouse problem, do not go any further than buying one of these. I'm not going to put a link in the description for one I've bought. If you go on eBay and type in mouse trap bucket lid, you'll get loads and loads of options. And if you go through the description, there's loads of different dimensions, etc. So you might have a bucket at home that will match the description and dimensions that are on there, and you can order the one that you want to get it. Now, 3 members of staff. Here they are. It's an airtight container, so I have to crack it a little bit to give them a little bit of air. But these little fellas are just 3 of what I'm hoping to be a very small number of mice, because I've never had a mice problem in there whatsoever. I went in there last week and I noticed that a couple of bags of Little Bees C-Nut Revolution baits, pellets, micros, had tiny little holes in them, just one hole in each one, and there were a couple of mouse droppings just where the bag was, where the mouse had been sat, just eating one by one. So I know I didn't have a massive rat problem or a huge mouse problem, just these tiny little field mice, and their paws are so dinky, and it means that they can just take one pellet at a time and sit and eat it, and then another one, and then another one. This time of year, it's not uncommon to find loads of these in your shed. If they aren't chewing your stuff to bits, they are definitely nesting somewhere, because they're going to breed and it's nice and warm and they're away from sort of predators out there. Everything's falling off at trees now, so you've got to remember these guys are losing cover, and it means that birds or anything like that can just swoop down and get on whenever they want. So these small guys in here, I've brought them down here today and I'm going to let them go. Why? Well, like I've said before, I'm not a big fan of crushing them. I don't really want to kill them, and if I can bring any positive from this at all, it's definitely going to be letting them go and giving them a fighting chance. But more so, me killing a mouse, chucking it in a bag and throwing it in bin, a lot of birds will be pairing up soon and they'll be nesting, and it means that just one of these mice can be a massive meal for a very small bird. So even if a kestrel comes down in the next half an hour, finds them all in grass and takes them, so be it. But at least I'm giving them a fighting chance as well. So 3 jerrys, I'm going to let them go here, and hopefully they'll make a beeline for all this long grass, and who knows, they might end up residing here, going on to breed, having loads of more little brothers and sisters. I'm guessing there's one in there that's very, very small, and I think he's a very small baby, or she, who knows. And the other ones are quite big, so I'm guessing that, don't know, mum, dad and daughter, mum, dad and son, I don't know how you want to look at it. But these guys, I'm going to let them go here, and I don't know, call me what you will, just not a big fan of killing stuff when I don't need to. If I'd have chewed all handles off my distance masters, this would just be an empty jar now, and I wouldn't be sat here making this video, that's for sure. But I'm here, I'm going to let them go, and I thought, why not? I'm going to let these guys go now, and what I'll do is I'll get the camera ready so you can watch them walk off as well. Right, so here's all the long grass. That's where I've just been sat over there. And all this long grass here, it just means that they can dart off a little bit quicker into all that and get some shelter. Now, there's going to be birds in there because I've already found nests. There's some massive nests in there. And there's probably all sorts in there that might get these things as well. But, you know, I'm that kind of guy. Just want to give them a chance. So I'm going to let them go here, and hopefully they'll run off that way. So I'll just set the camera down here, just so you can see them go. And hopefully they'll run off and live a happy life. Right, so before I let them go, just want to show you these guys. So all 3 of them, I'm going to let them go now, and I just thought, you know, I'm not going to let them go without you guys seeing them, but I don't know, I'm not going to give them any names, but let's just call them all Jerry. How's about that? Because they never really get far in life when you're a Jerry. But there's no Toms here, so hopefully they might have a better chance than what they would do in the cartoons. But these guys are going to go and live another day and leave my bait stocks alone. And whilst ever they're keeping away from my bait, I'm keeping them away from my tackle as well, because these things, If you put your rods back in your old holes and you've got mucky grips and they're covered in bait and fish slime, these things will chew all the cork and EVA off your rods in no time. Not because they want to and because they're trying to, you know, really wind you up, but it's because of all the food content that's stuck to your rod grips. So get your rods somewhere else, suspend them from the ceiling, anywhere. But if you've got a mouse problem, get your rods away from where these guys are, because chewing a cork handle on a 300-400 pound rod, not great. A bag of pellets, fair enough, you know, you can deal with that. But these little things, as innocent as they may seem, can cost you an absolute fortune. So please, as soon as you can get one of those mouse catchers I told you about, they are the most effective way of getting them. Even if you see this now and think, I'm just going to get a mouse trap, don't bother. I think that thing cost me a tenner. You can get them as little as £7 or £6. I paid a tenner for that one because it seemed more legit and it was 2-day postage. So, right, let's let these guys go. Right, so here we go. I don't think there's any better way of doing this. What I'm going to do is, I don't really want to chuck my hands in. I've picked them up obviously and given my hands a wash because I ain't hold a mouse in ages, so of course I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do is, just so you guys can see that there, let me just tilt you a little bit more just so you can see them. I don't want you to miss the fun, guys. No way. Now, can we see there? If I put this down there, might be able to see him run off. Just want to try and coax him out a little bit. One of them's going. There he goes, look. He's gone. Another one. This is baby one now. He's well and truly gone. This other one, that one's going, oh. He's gone, he's sprung off that way. And then the last one, which is the biggest. Seems to be really slow, this one. Don't know what his problem is. Oh, there he goes. Jumpy. Go that way, look. There we go. Off he goes. Luckily, they've all gone in the right direction. If he just goes that way a little bit, oh, that one's there. They'll find each other, they know what they're doing. They've got a better chance here than they have in my shed, that's for sure, because there's no cats around here. Cats will sit outside my shed door all night waiting for one of these to pop their nose out and it's game over. But not only that, but if I accidentally stand on one, you know, and it's just an accident and it didn't mean to happen, you know, and I stand on it really, really hard as well, then, you know, that's no good for them either. So we don't want that. So those guys are gone. One of them's still there actually. But this is a new home and hopefully they enjoy it. And hopefully they'll leave everyone's gear alone. So that's it, guys. I can't stress it enough. Definitely get yourself one of these. Now, I will put the link in, like I've said, to Sean's video in description. And I think the one that he uses, I don't know if it's his brand or not actually, but I think there's a link for it on Amazon. I'll try and find it. If it's in the description on this video now, it's because I found it and I've put it there for you. But either way, I got this yesterday, it got delivered yesterday, and I thought I'll put it in tonight. I chucked a few pellets in bucket, 3 mice this morning, and now they've got a nice new home down here at Arto Reservoir, which I know a lot of you are saying, oh, you should have just, you know, done obvious with them, but I'm not like that, you know, just want to let them go. But think of it this way. If those 3 mice manage to reproduce efficiently enough to support just enough kestrels and hawks around here, then come on, that 10 quid alone was worth every penny. So definitely buy one of these. I'll leave it there anyway, but one thing I will say is if you've got somebody stealing from you, if you've got somebody who just can't leave your bait alone, if you've got somebody interfering with your fishing tackle, make sure that you keep it secure. Make sure you've got plenty of locks on your garage, your shed door, wherever you keep it. I know a lot of you keep it in your vans and parking in garage. That's one thing I do. But definitely don't leave it too late, even if it's just a mouse problem. Because believe it or not, a few rogue mice in your shed or your garage can cost you just as much money as where a thief can by taking it. You get full handles chewed off for all your distance feeder rods or your carp rods, or you get a few mice in there chewing up braid off your carp reels or dipping into your boilie bags. It's game over, guys. So definitely get one of these, look after your gear, and let me know in the comments, what would you do with those 3 mice? Would you let them go? feed a few birds, give them a chance at survival, or you're one of those sort of people that likes to hear a snap, go off in the background, and go and watch a mouse struggling with its eyes falling out of its head. Let me know, but I'm just not that kind of person that likes killing animals for no reason whatsoever if I can feed them to something else, yeah? If I had a snake at home, then they wouldn't have even come out here, yeah? They'd have stayed at home and they'd have gone inside my snake or something like that. But that's it for this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you've not already, and I will see you on the next one. Right, just one more thing, you. No, not you, him. Get him. Yes, him. No, yeah, you. Yes, you. If you've not got a mouse problem and you've not got 15 mice in your shed causing you absolute havoc, well, it's probably because you've not got the best and highest quality bait options in there on today's angling market. So for things like ground baits, flavourings, glugs, dyes, enhancers, pellets, particles, clothing, you name it, simply go on to revolutionbaits.co.uk website. There's a simple checkout process where you can put everything that you want into a basket. You can have it delivered. Orders over £50 of free delivery, and there's also the option where if you're local or if you're in a rush and you need it for tomorrow, you can go and collect it from Bait Shed at Doncaster. So that's it for today's video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.